Hi, this is Teresa. Welcome to Feasting on the Scriptures using the Gospel Library app. Today, we're going to talk about tags. A very simple lesson on how to use tags. This is your personal retrieval system. Think of it as an index. We keep it very simple. Today, we aren't going to add any notes or any text. We're just going to highlight a section of text, and we're going to double-click on one word. Let's go ahead and go to the Gospel Library app. So my app opens to the home page. Let's go to the library first and let me show you an example of an index. If I come over here to Study Helps, we go to the Topical Guide. And as you can see, it's simple one-word or short phrases. So descendants of Aaron, Aaronic priesthood, a bunch of A words. And as you can see, it's very, very simple. So that's what the Topical Guide is. So if we look at tags again, we're looking for the one word or the short phrase. But what's different about this versus the Gospel Library Index, some sort of an index at the back of the book, is that this is what's meaningful to me. These are things that I want to be able to pull up in a hurry and look at them. So, for example, I have a hymn name. I have names of places where I've worked. I have my ward. I have different things that are meaningful to me. So for the purposes of our lesson, I wanted to show you some examples of how we could quickly tag something. So let me come over here to, for example, we'll go to 1 Corinthians 15. I want to look for witnesses of the resurrection. These are things I don't need to make a lot of notes of. I just want to be able to quickly pull up who were the witnesses of the resurrection. Now this 1 Corinthians 15 is Paul. He's not writing all of the witnesses. He's writing some of the things that he knows. So for example, Christ was seen of Cephas, which is Peter. I'm going to put a tag there for resurrection witnesses. And then he was seen of the 12. Put a tag on that one. Resurrection witnesses. After that, he was seen of above 500 brethren at once. All right, I'm just going to tag that. Resurrection witnesses. Save that. He was seen of James. I'm going to tag that. He was seen of all the apostles. Then I'm going to tag that. I put them separate because I want to be able to look at them separate. And last of all, he was seen of me also, meaning Paul, as one who was born out of due time. All right, Paul was a witness. Let's look at my resurrection witnesses in my notes. There's my resurrection witnesses. I happen to have one that started it out with New Testament appearances of the resurrected Christ, so we'll go look at that and make sure we pick up the ones that we didn't note. So he was seen of Cephas, then of the 12. Notice I highlighted them separately because I wanted to see them separately in my notes. So here's Cephas is one, the 12 is another group, 500 brethren is another group, seen of James is another group, then of all the apostles is another group, and then of me, which is Paul, as another group. Alrighty, let's go to this chapter here about the witnesses. All right, we'll just go right on over to this. So at the tomb, John. Mary was at the tomb weeping. She stooped down and looked into the sepulchre. So first of all, she sees the empty tomb and she sees two angels. I want to capture that. So here is, let's put a tag here, and I'm going to put resurrection empty tomb. That one's a special category, so I'm going to call that empty tomb. And then she sees Jesus, and she doesn't realize that it's Jesus. So she says, "Tell me where you've laid him, and I will take him away." And Jesus said her name, Mary, and she turned around and saw him and said, "Master." So let's look at this. This is Mary. And she came and told the disciples. And so that tag is she is a resurrection witness. Alrighty. Now while we're here, let's look and see. Jesus came and stood in the midst and said, "Peace unto you." So this was the first day of the week, and he came and he was there and with the disciples. And we happen to know that there were only 11 of them. So let's just make that resurrection witnesses. Alrighty, where else did he say? But Thomas wasn't there. So after 8 days, Jesus came again. 8 days, the disciples are together. Thomas is with them. Jesus came, and here's this beautiful thing here. So we're going to say resurrection witnesses here. So this is where the Savior told Thomas to reach in your finger, and you'll see that it's me. Be not faithless, but believing. And Thomas answered and said unto him, My Lord and my God. Jesus said unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. Are there any more here? Okay, I don't think there's any more. Let's go back one. So that was Mary at the tomb. Then there were other women. Let's look at Matthew. All right. So Mary Magdalene and the other Mary came to see the sepulchre. They saw the angel of the Lord. Well, let's put, you know what we want to put here? Let's put that with the empty tomb. So, as you notice what I'm doing, they ran and they told the disciples, empty tomb. Here's the tag, and it says empty tomb. But now, as they went to tell his disciples, behold, Jesus met them. And they held him by the feet and worshipped them. And he said, Don't be afraid. Go tell my brethren that they go into Galilee, and there they shall see me. So this is witnesses. This is the women witnesses. So these are resurrection witnesses now. Let's see. And then 11 disciples, they saw him and worshiped, but some doubted. God bless them. So we'll just go ahead and say this is witnesses again. Now, it may be the same witnesses. I just want them in the same place. And he gave them some instruction. All right, let's go back. So that was Matthew. Simon Peter. What about Simon Peter? So there were two men on the same day, meaning the resurrection day, on that Sunday. They went to a village called Emmaus, and they were talking about what happened. And while they communed together and reasoned, Jesus himself drew near and went with them, but they didn't recognize him. And he talked to them. And let's just look and see, how do I want to mark this? They told him that the women had seen. And they went to the sepulchre. And let me see, then he talked to them further. And this is when they recognized that it was him. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to mark this section right here and put witnesses, resurrection witnesses. They returned to Jerusalem and found the 11 gathered together, and them that were with them. And they said, The Lord is risen. And meaning the disciples that were there said, The Lord is risen, and appeared to Simon. So let's go ahead, and Simon is now a witness. I wish we knew exactly what happened there. So anyway, what you can see, what I've done here is I'm not doing any marking other than putting things, I'm technically marking, but I'm putting them in my tags. So let's come over here to tags. Let's go to my resurrection witnesses, and you can see, you see all the ones that I've written so far. So there's where Paul, here's Mary, here's the disciples together, here's Thomas with the disciples, here's Jesus, and I think this is the women. I should have marked a little bit more there. The 11 disciples, then they opened their eyes, This was the road to Emmaus. And then the Lord has indeed risen and appeared to Simon. So I've begun a collection of witnesses, and you notice I didn't have to do very much at all. I just highlight them and I click witnesses. And so that's how easy it is to tag. Just highlight and create a tag and click on it. It's that easy. So this has been Feasting on the Scriptures using the Gospel Library app. We've been talking about how easy it is to use tags. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and like and subscribe so you'll be alerted the next time I post a video.